telah menghabiskan waktu hidup saya untuk mempelajari hal ini. Jadi tolong dengarkan saya baik-baik. Tidak ada obat dan tidak ada vaksin. Mulailah pengoboman. Bom seluruh kota dan seluruh orang yang ada di dalamnya.
Alright, peace everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's the Reaction Overlord. We're back with another video. Alright, so we about to do another spoilers review for The Last of Us. This one we're going to be doing for episode 2. Alright, so I got to catch up with episode 4. I know they just released it. We're not there yet on this channel, but we'll get there. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and also hit the bell notification icon on all, so you'll be notified every time I upload these videos. Alright, so we about to jump right into it. So like I said, this is a spoilers review, so if you haven't checked it out, feel free to go away now. If you're staying, that means you're comfortable with knowing what's going on. Alright, so what I liked about it was, as soon as it started, it picked right off in the past in 2003 in Indonesia, right when the viral outbreak started. You see like the I guess it's the Indonesian police or the military. It was a high official guy. He went to go to some restaurant where some lady was eating, and turns out she was like a scientist. And she went with them. They grabbed her, and she didn't know what was going on. She was scared how the way that they approached her in the restaurant, and she asked him questions in the car. Like, am I arrested and everything? And he's like, no, of course not. And she's like, well, you got the wrong person. And he's like, no, I forget her name. I can't even pronounce it, even if I remember. It was like Ebel, Atuna, something. But he was like, no, we got the right person. We know who we want. So she went with them, and they arrived at like some hospital where they, told her to look at like some type of specimen they had. And when she looked at it, she was like, why would you use this on humans? Like, you can't survive that. And the cop boy looked, I was like, kind of like, yeah, exactly. Like, so next thing they showed her like going inside some like autopsy room, but she had like the whole hazmat suit on, like on the movie Outbreak, and she had to put the oxygen tank thing cord onto her, and she like examining the body. You can see like a bullet hole in the head, indicating that the person was shot in the head. But she got a scalpel and started cutting a leg where the bite mark was at, and you can see like some type of white stuff inside of it. And she like, this person was bit by a human, and the scalpel like, yeah. And then she get another scalpel and open the mouth and pull out like worm tentacle stuff that I was saying on the first drum. The things be coming out their mouth, but it was still moving. And she like dropped it, and she ran out the thing, and they show her being all scared, and he bringing the tea, and she like, like, man, like pretty much. The dude asked that, he was like, we brought you here to, find a vaccine or, develop some type of medicine or something. She was like, understand this, I've been doing this all my life.
Tidak ada obat dan tidak ada vaksin.
Right, like, so she like, yeah, bomb everything. And I'm like, man, that was the opening right there. I'm like, oh man, she want to be with her family because she already knows it's the end. She said she been doing all her life. And then they pick right up the little girl Ellie. She was asleep, and Joel and Tess, they were watching right over, and Joel, he ain't miss a beat. He had that shotgun right over because they both found out that she was infected from the last episode. They asked to see her bite mark, but it didn't spread. It didn't look like it was, getting more infected. It was just like it was healing actually. So, but Joe wasn't buying it. Joe like, let's just take it back to the QZ, and we're done and all that stuff. But Tess is like, no, Tess at the beginning she was so adamant. I'm like, she like, because at first she wasn't with it, but now she was so adamant about taking Ellie to meet with the Fireflies and everything. So she's like, no, it don't matter if we believe it or not. If they believe it, cool. Let's just dump her off with them. We get our vehicles and stuff, so we can go our way. So Joe reluctantly agreed, like, all right, come on. So they start finishing traveling the city, and that was pretty much the episode. They were going through the city, and like I said, I wasn't really into the game like that, so I started learning new things, like how when they were traveling, and they did see like a group of infected zombies, whatever you want to call them. They were like hibernating on the ground, on the floor. And Tess was telling Ellie, she was like giving like, zombie 101. She was letting her know that, if you step on one of them type of spores or whatever, or you disrupt it, that the zombies miles away can feel it, like, because they all connected, and they'll know where you at, and they'll start coming and all that stuff, which actually comes up later on in the episode. So once they seen all them zombies there, they had to take, another route. So they're like, all right, we're gonna take the shortcut. Which in the beginning they were saying taking the shortcut is basically suicide, but they felt like they had to anyway because zombies everywhere hibernating, but they couldn't get through certain places. So they're like, all right, cool. So they go and do like museums and everything, and um, after they come out the museum and all that stuff, and they kept traveling and everything, they finally meet up to the place where they supposed to meet up with those Firefly dudes. They see the truck, but they didn't see like no people or nothing. They didn't see no movement. It was just kind of like abandoned looking. Tess and Joel, they looking there all around, searching the perimeter. So they start easily going towards it. And when Joel opened the truck and everything, they seen like nothing but blood. And Ellie was like, all right, there's a blood trail going inside. So Tess, she took Ellie and she started running inside with her so anxiously. And Joe was like, hold on. And I was looking at that too, like you are kind of careless with it, just going up inside there with it. You could just been going to anything, but when they go inside there, it's pretty much like a bloodbath. A1 on the floor, like dead. And Tess like, what happened? Like the military people, did they come and kill him? And Joel was like, no, he hit over one of the bodies, and he seen that he was infected. He was like, no, pretty much. One of them got bit and infected the other people, and they started trying to shoot them, and they all lost pretty much. So they just killed each other. The infected and the non-infected killed each other. So Joe like, all right, it's over. We got to go back. We got to take it back to the QZ. And just like, no, we can't go back. Like, and she was like, that's not my home. She was our luck ran out. And Elle figured out, she's like, oh shit, you infected. And Joe was like, show me. And she showed up, it was on her neck, it was like spread and everything. And while they talking about that, an infected came and it attacked them, but Joel shot it, and as it died, it hit one of the things on the floor that I was telling you about, like them spore things, the vine things that have Santa's all connected, and it went traveled across to the joints that was hibernating outside, those zombies, and they all just start waking up, and they all start coming towards them. They knew exactly where it was at, and it was running real fast, so they ain't have much time. So Tess being infected, she telling Joe like, look, believe. She like, look at her arm. She like, she's still the same. Wow, I just got infected and it's spread through me real fast. So this is real. She's like, do what's right. Drop her off and make it happen. Like, do it for me. She's like, I don't ask you for anything, so can you do it for me? So, you know, he grabbed Ellie. He just started running off, and Ellie was like, no, because I think Ellie liked Tess. She was like growing on her. Or whatever. She's like, you can't leave her. But they ran out, and zombies and everything finally bust in. But then one of them went towards her, and like the spore stuff was in his mouth moving, and he like kissed her. I don't know what the heck he was doing with that. I think it was like because she was turning, so I think he was like connecting with her or something, and making her transform fast. I don't know, but she was trying to light the lighter, and it wasn't lighting, and it finally lit, and it dropped on the floor with all the gasoline and stuff, and it blew up and killed all of them. So she sacrificed herself for them to get out of there, because if not, those zombies were still running, and they was gonna eventually catch up with Joel and Ellie, and so she did a good job. So I was like, all right, cool. And Joel and Ellie, they continued their journey. He stood good on his promise and finished taking her instead of taking her back to the QZ zone. So I liked it. I was like, all right, cool. So that's episode 2. Now stay tuned because we're gonna do episode 3 and 4, which I'll be doing next. And I probably will be having them uploaded either sometime tonight or sometime tomorrow. But if you like that, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like I said, the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.